I've seen many videos of other trophy hunters doing month-long challenges, and I've always wanted to try one myself. So throughout the month of September, I'm going to be challenging myself to get as many classic platinums from the PS Plus Classic Collection, which I'll be calling Old School September. And the rules are as follows: I need to platinum at least 5 PS1 titles, 5 PS2 titles, and 5 PSP titles. Unfortunately, because I don't have any way of recording PS3 games, I won't be getting any platinums from that system. And I won't be playing any remakes or remastered versions of games, only the emulated titles so I can get that complete classic feel. On top of these rules, I also have college that I go to a few days a week, which shouldn't clash too much. And one last thing, if I fail any of these challenges, I will have to platinum a difficult game selected for me from a random wheel. And with that all being said, it's about time we get into the challenge. Before even starting any games, I went onto PSN profiles and chose a wide selection of games with a minimum of 15 to 20 hours or less. And the game I chose to play first is Ape Escape, which just so happens to be the first platinum trophy I ever got on my PS5. It's been 3 years since then, and I wanted to see if the game still held up now, and honestly, it's alright. Since it's a PS1 game, I'll admit the controls were a bit of a pain, so much so that I ended up changing them in the emulation's built-in controller options.
Oh, cool. Stupid monkey.
Even with these changes, I still couldn't get used to the controls even when I got the platinum. Speaking of which, this platinum was really not that hard, needing me to play through the story collecting a minimum of 100 apes and 40 Spectre coins, which are both spread out across 25 levels.
Whee! I can finally go and do the minigame.
Almost all the trophies were found during the story except for the mini-games at the end, which are all unlocked by collecting the Spectre coins mentioned before. Going into each game got me the last 3 trophies and the first platinum of the challenge.
Ended up playing it anyway, because I didn't even bother with those minigames. Or I didn't bother playing with them when I first got the platinum. Speaking of which.
For a starting game, Ape Escape was definitely the right choice. It has its rough spots, yeah, but its goofiness is very fun, and also its soundtrack slaps for a PS1 game, and it's definitely worth the look. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I was not expecting to see LEGO Star Wars on the PS Plus Classics page, so it was a pleasant surprise to say the least. Compared to most LEGO games, this one definitely has its work cut out for me. For the platinum, I need to play each level not once, not twice, but 4 times. Once in story mode, making sure to get True Jedi in each level, again on free play for the minikits in True Jedi, another for the Blue Minikit challenges, and finally, the speedrun challenges that combine each movie's levels into one. Unfortunately, I couldn't do this all in one day, so I decided it'd be best to spread them across a few days so I didn't get burnt out from the story. Everything I've done up until this point gave me gold bricks, which unlocked boss levels against the antagonists from the prequel films, which were definitely worth the grind.
So Anakin, you were my brother Anakin. I hate you. Oh, what a level. 6 hammers! 6
I woke up early today with the goal to get another platinum. Those levels I unlocked weren't the only ones. There was also the LEGO City level, which had me collect 1 million studs, which took me a lot longer than expected. But with everything done, I just had to buy everything and collect 4 billion studs for me to get the platinum number 2. Oh, I'm almost done. Let's go. I'm finally done. This is the first LEGO game I've played in 3 years, and it felt so good to play one again. Considering this is meant to be a PSP port of LEGO Star Wars, it actually looks alright, and it was definitely a good way to get back into the LEGO games. There's still time on day 6, so I decided to start Jak and Daxter the Precursor Legacy. This is the first PS2 game in the challenge, and to be perfectly honest with you, I'm not really a fan. I mean, don't get me wrong, I spent the first few hours exploring and collecting the Precursor rubs and power cells, but it just didn't click for me. And it's not that I don't like platformers, I played Ape Escape and a few other platformers later on, which I did enjoy, but This one, I'm just not enjoying. So to speed things up, the next day I used a walkthrough to help me collect everything and complete all the quests, which probably saved me so much time in the long run, especially in Spider Cave, which is the worst area in the game. Thankfully I managed to escape and got the platinum. Yes! As much as I didn't enjoy this game, there were a few things I did enjoy. Some of the level designs looked incredible, and as hard as they were to control, the bike missions were quite fun. And I can't forget about Daxter himself. I'm not afraid to say he made me chuckle a few times. The next game I decided to play is Twisted Metal. I wasn't too sure what to expect since I've never really seen anything from this game, but I'm glad I played it because out of all the games I've played this month, this has to be up there for one of the most fun. You play as a vehicle and your only goal is to destroy all the other vehicles across the map without being destroyed yourself. Don't get me wrong, when I started it was very difficult, but as I got used to the controls I found myself enjoying it so much more than expected.
This is hard.
The only time I wasn't enjoying it was when I had to beat the last mission with every character, which overall wasn't that bad since there was a way to cheat this fight by using the secret area, but other than that it was really good.
There we go. Platinum number 4.
It was very surprising just how much I enjoyed Twisted Metal, and I'd highly recommend giving this one a bash if you're looking for a short platinum. There was a little bit of time on day, so I started Echoshift. This game caught my eye with its art style, and after seeing a few puzzles from YouTube, I thought I'd give it a bash. I didn't get much done before going to bed, but I was enjoying it so far. I continued playing Echoshift, but slowly realised that I was not enjoying this game as much as I did, to the point where I was on my phone more than I was actually playing the levels. As days passed, everything felt so repetitive, and thankfully there was walkthroughs of every level online because I really did not have the brain capacity to figure out half these levels, nor did I have the patience to play each level on my own to figure out the puzzles. Because for this platinum, you need to complete every level, of which there are 56 of, complete at least 42 key challenges, which adds a key you need to collect to finish the level, and 28 illusion challenges, which lets you stop time for a few seconds. Add all of these levels together and you still need to beat a total of 126 levels, which are all pretty similar in design. It's also worth mentioning that on day 10 I also started a new job, so now I'll have even less time going forward. When finishing Echoshift, I made sure to play the shortest levels and thankfully, finally, got the platinum after what felt like the longest 10 hours. And I never need to think about this game ever again.
Actually, felt like it took forever. Wonder if I'll get the trophy. Oh yeah, look, there we go. Since I've done it.
Shortly after beating Echoshift, I started my next game, Star Wars Demolition, which is very similar to Twisted Metal. And just like Twisted Metal, I needed to complete the tournament mode with every character. These tournaments didn't take too long, so I focused on getting some of the miscellaneous trophies while playing the other game modes before going to bed.
Oh yeah.
Just like the day before, I continued with Star Wars Demolition's tournament runs and got pretty much all the trophies except for the Hunter Droid mode, which was much harder than expected.
God. Come on! Oh my god. Yes! Platinum 30. Holy shit. Look at that, 30 droids, 30 platinums. That was a mission.
I had enough time on day 13 to start Sly Cooper, or as we call it in the UK, Sly Raccoon, which does not slip off the tongue nearly as well as Cooper. Anyways, compared to Jack and Daxter that I played earlier on, I very much enjoyed this game a lot more. I love the cel-shaded art style of this game, and the characters are very likeable. This game is level based and has you find clue balls to unlock saves that then unlock different skills that make the game a lot easier.
The combination has to be 571.
5, 7, 1. Wait, oh.
There are also quite a lot of miscellaneous trophies throughout the levels, more so than expected. I tried to get as many as possible during my first playthrough, but missed quite a few until the end.
Please tell me that's it. Yes, that was so hard.
We are now at the halfway point of the challenge, and if we're including the platinum for Sly Cooper, that puts our total platinums for the month at 7.
Oh my days, that was so easy. Holy shit.
That's 3 PS1 platinums, 2 PS2 platinums, and 2 PSP platinums. Honestly, I was really hoping to have a lot more by this point, but I should still be able to reach my goal of 15, because remember, if I don't, I'm needing to platinum the 8 to 10 difficulty platinum, which I really do not want to do. And if you want to see me do that, then make sure to subscribe and turn on those bells, because at this rate, I might need to. Next up, I decided to play a game I've never even heard of before called Time Splitters. Throughout the story, you're jumping to different points in time to collect artifacts, and to be perfectly honest, I don't even have a clue why we're grabbing them, but it's a lot harder than you think. It uses the same camera controls as GoldenEye from the N64, and I've never actually played or used an N64 controller, so this is a completely new experience for me, and it was a definite struggle. Thankfully, I had the rewind feature because I would have been screwed without it, and mind you, this was on normal difficulty. After beating each of the story missions, I unlocked challenges for each time period, and I'm no being funny, these are actually some of the hardest things I've probably ever done. Each challenge had very specific goals, and the lack of heals was what really done me over. I've said it once, I'll say it again, thank God for the rewind feature, because I don't think I would have been able to complete this challenge without it.
Just wait if you want, I've done it. That was a fucking... I'll destroy it. That was so hard. Those missions sucked.
I put in the notes after completing the game, the story was really fun, but those challenges can go suck a massive dong. Back when I was younger, I used to play Toy Story 3 on my Wii, and when I saw PS Plus Classic sell it, I knew I had to see what it was like. This is the PSP version of the game, and it doesn't have nearly as much as I remembered, but it was still cool to be able to play a version of the game I used to play back then. For the platinum, I just had to find a whole bunch of collectibles across 13 levels, and in certain levels I had to do tasks in specific ways. For example, on level 12 I had to switch between the aliens a total of 50 times or less for the trophy.
Let's go, that was so easy.
It was really enjoyable replaying the game I used to play, and being able to say I have the platinum is really cool.
There we go! Let's go. That was so fun.
There was still time today, so I decided to start Oddworld Abe's Odyssey, and I'd like to mention I've tried Oddworld Soulstorm when that got released on the PS5, but wasn't really a fan, and that's the whole reason why I'm trying this game, to give the series another chance. And, just like last time, I was really not enjoying it. I'm just not a fan of how the game plays. Alongside college work and the thought of playing Abe's Odyssey made me not play anything for 3 whole days. As a reminder, I still need to platinum 6 games to get the 15 platinums minimum for the challenge. So I decided to drop Odyssey with the plan to return at a later date, and started playing Resistance Retribution. This is another shooter game, this time with decent controls. It takes place during the 1950s, where there's an alien invasion, and before I continue, if you were to ask me anything about the story, I couldn't tell you anything. I actually cannot remember. Some missions let you ride about in alien mechs, that was pretty sick, but other than that, I felt like the game dragged on much longer than it should have, and it probably didn't help that it took me 4 days to get this platinum.
Come on! Yes, let's go. That was really fun.
With the little time I have left, I quickly booted up another Star Wars game, Star Wars The Clone Wars. This is another game similar to Twisted Metal, where most of the game takes place in vehicles. But one thing I love about this game is the variety. Instead of just car-like vehicles, there's also flyable ships and on-foot combat using Anakin and Mace Windu. Unfortunately, I couldn't play much before going to bed, but I had a plan in mind. I have 3 days to platinum at least 5 games, and if everything goes according to the plan in my head, I should be able to platinum Loco Roco Midnight Carnival, Twisted Metal 2, Abe's Odyssey, Star Wars Clone Wars, and Mr. Mosquito all in the time I have left. With that being said, I couldn't play as much as I wanted to today, only being able to get to the halfway point of Star Wars before exhausting myself and going to bed. I had a full day off and I wanted to take full advantage of that, so I got up early and finished the remaining missions, making sure to complete as many challenges as possible so I didn't need to do any later on. I managed to platinum the game quite early.
Oh, and then making of. Oh, that's wrong button. There we go.
Out of all the vehicle games I've played so far, the Clone Wars has to be one of the better ones, mainly because of the variety in combat and the extra level challenges. I kept this momentum going by starting Loco Roco Midnight Carnival. The only previous experience I've had of these games is from Astrobot, so what better time to try an actual Loco Roco game than this challenge? Getting the trophies for it was as easy as just starting the levels. That goes for the platinum as well, so even though I'm on a time crunch, to keep things fair, I decided to actually play through each of the levels, including the one unlocked after the platinum.
Oh my fucking god, how is there still more?
I think I made a mistake. I found Loco Roco so infuriatingly hard. I absolutely hate the controls, and I was so thankful for the rewind feature, because genuinely, if it wasn't for that, the 3 hours I spent playing probably would have been doubled. It was so hard.
This is gonna take me fucking half an hour.
I had a little more time to start one last game today and decided to start Twisted Metal World Tour, or Twisted Metal 2 for the Americans. I spent most of my remaining time today trying to complete as many levels, but mainly getting the different miscellaneous trophies before going to bed. The worst thing that could happen happened. I got called into work after college and couldn't continue Twisted Metal 2 until much later on, mucking up my whole plan. When I got back, I locked in, completing every story mission and started the big grind to beat the final boss with every character again. This was a lot harder than the first game because there wasn't a simple way to cheese it like before. The easiest way was to just drive about and use rockets to deal as much damage as possible. Instead of playing Mr. Mosquito, I chose a much shorter game, Indiana Jones and the Staff of Kings, which is a linear level based game. Before going to bed, I completed the first half of the story, making sure to find as many collectibles as possible to save myself as much time as possible on the final day. In some stroke of luck, I managed to get away from college a lot earlier than expected, allowing me the time to fully complete the remaining levels in Indiana Jones and find the collectibles I missed before heading to work. I don't think I got to enjoy this game as much as I should have since I was on such a time crunch, so I think at a future date I'm definitely going to give this game another bash. After I got in from work, I booted back up Abe's Odyssey with the intention of using a guide to hopefully speed through the whole game, and not even 10 minutes in I gave up. And for the first time ever on this account, I will be completely dropping a game into the graveyard. Will I ever return to this title? Probably, but I don't have time for dilly-dallying, and in great desperation, I downloaded Twisted Metal 3, baby! You've already heard me talk about 2 Twisted Metal Platinums so far in this video, and it was the same process in Twisted Metal 3, except this time I had less than 6 hours to get it done. I plan to completely focus on every story mission before going for any miscellaneous trophies, and if I got any, that would save me time in the long run. But unfortunately, one of the worst things happened. When putting in one of the codes to return to a level, I accidentally put in the wrong code, which then cancelled out any further trophies unless I completely wiped my save. Thankfully, it took me about an hour to recover what I lost, and continued my plan as always until reaching the final trophy for beating the last level with 5 different people. This was without a doubt the hardest boss between the 3 games, and this time there wasn't any way of choosing him, which is very fitting for the last platinum.
I've done it! I've done it! Oh my god, I've actually just done it.
With just under 2 hours to spare, I managed to platinum 15 games in 1 month. As someone who has both college and now work, I am chuffed with how I done. Obviously I would have preferred more, but that's just how the cookie crumbles. I had such a good time doing this challenge. I might have not liked all the games I played, but even still I had such a blast and will definitely try something like this again. Here are all the rankings of every game I played this month, and if you enjoyed, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This video took me so long to make and I would much appreciate any support. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.